And I thought this was a bit of interesting news. You guys might remember, of course, that Paradox had last year published Bloodlines 2, which I played and I thought was horrendously bad overall. That's what I said in my review. And Paradox, it turns out, has lost a lot of money on that game. In an article published by PC Gamer, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 left a gaping $28 million hole in Paradox's year-end financial report. You win some, you lose millions, is the title. Now, I can't say this really surprises me much, but unfortunately, this is what you get when you dabble in genres that you don't really care about. Paradox, have been saying this for years, has decided to go down a route that they, A, were not prepared for, B, had no interest in, C, did not take appropriate measures for, and as a result, you end up getting something like this. And I don't even really blame the Chinese room necessarily. I think they kind of did what they could to make the game serviceable or okay. But all we know is that it was an absolute cluster, you know what, in making this game Bloodlines 2. First, Paradox decided to work with Hardsuit Labs, which seemed to be the more logical choice. They actually made RPGs. And then due to some undisclosed disagreement or falling out, they decided to fire them and moved on to the Chinese room. And all in all, Bloodlines 2 was an absolute cluster F. There's no way of getting around that. It's just the truth. And it's a damn shame because Paradox still owns the rights to the World of Darkness. And if they've made these decisions and have had these poor experiences due to their crappy decision-making with respect to World of Darkness, with respect to their forays into RPGs, then it stands to reason that in the future they would be much less willing to entertain the idea of publishing a game that happens to be an RPG in the World of Darkness, or really any RPG for that matter, but specifically World of Darkness, because World of Darkness is being held captive to Paradox and their ineptitude and unwillingness to deal with RPGs and learn the ins and outs of how you make a good one. Now, the funny thing here is that Paradox themselves have admitted this. Last year, in fact, they admitted that they made a mistake with their foray into RPGs in the World of Darkness, and they should never have done it in the first place. The problem is, of course, that doesn't help us, fans of Vampire the Masquerade and or the World of Darkness, because it just means that we're less likely to get any content in terms of World of Darkness, in terms of video games, or in general. Now, from what I understand, they have decided to essentially delegate the handling and management of World of Darkness to somebody else, which is to say they will still nominally own the World of Darkness IP, but all the actual decisions and all the management and all the things that matter will be done by people who are actual insiders to the genre and to the game. But that still doesn't give me a lot of hope, really. Even though I'm not one to be partial to copium, I still have a tiny, tiny sliver of hope. Maybe one day that Paradox might take a chance with a different company that has a lot of experience with these types of games. Cough, cough, you know, Owlcat, maybe I'm just kidding. Maybe I'm not entirely kidding. The point is that this entire endeavor has been an absolute dumpster fire, years wasted for basically nothing, for a very mediocre game at best. And even though I really dislike the game, I don't really blame Chinese Room, as I said. This is mostly on Paradox for making very poor decisions over those years and not really having their heart in everything. So I guess they're $28 million in the hole, which probably isn't that big of a deal to a publisher and or developer like Paradox. I mean, they're worth a lot more than that, and they can definitely spend a lot more than that. But it still is, I would imagine, relatively painful to them all in all. But I guess all we can say is GG. It was a nice run. Well, the nice run, where was the nice run? 2004, almost 22 years ago. So not even a nice run. Just a very sad development and course of events, but it happens all too frequently in the gaming world and also in the cinematic world. An example of this might be Dracula Untold, the film, which was actually very good, I thought, overall. It was meant to be part of a greater sort of darkness-styled universe in cinema, but ultimately it only amounted to one film and nothing else, so what can you do at the end of the day? But anyway, as always, thank you for tuning in, and if you like my content and you like my takes, you can leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. It is much appreciated, as it really helps out the channel, and I'll check you out next time. Take care.